Hi everyone, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. Today we are creating a two-tier beauty. She is 9 inches for the base and 7 inches for the top tier. I'm filling this in with vanilla buttercream, although I haven't used butter. This is vegetable shortening to make it super white and crisp. Once I've filled the inside of those cake layers, I'm going to go ahead and create a crumb coat. This will trap in all those crumbs, and the cake flavor that we've chosen here is marbled mud. I like to make sure that the top is nice and flat, and then I'll work onto the sides. So the more buttercream I press out to the sides from the very top, the more buttercream I have to feed the crumb coat around the cake. You could always go into the main bowl of frosting to continue applying more frosting. However, this will add crumbs into that bowl, so just make sure that any crumbs that are on your spatula you offset into a separate bowl so you go in clean. I don't actually mess with the finish of the cake with my spatula. I just load up the cake and then I'll use my frosting scraper, which is this little acrylic thing here available on my website, and this is what's going to give me a nice sleek finish. Fill in any pockets as you go. And then once you're happy with the sides, you can drag that top lip in towards the middle. Refrigerate for at least 25 minutes and then work on your top tier in the meantime. You guys could see that there was a 6-inch cake board underneath this cake, which is connected with buttercream to a temporary board, which is just that acrylic scalloped board. Following those exact same steps, filling in any pockets as you go, and then dragging that top lip again towards the middle of the cake. Refrigerate for the same amount of time, about 25 minutes, longer if you can. The longer it is, the better. And here I've got that bottom tier again. So we're going on with fresh buttercream, starting at the top, making sure that there's a good lip traveling outside the perimeter of the cake. That way I get a nice raised lip when I go around the sides. Populate the sides with frosting and then smooth it out. You can remove any collected buttercream from the scraper, offset that back into any pockets, and then I like to do one final spin around without stopping so that there's only one line right at the back of the cake. We've decided to keep that lip raised to add to the design of the cake. So back into the fridge she goes. And just following again those exact same steps again with the top tier. Because we want a raised lip, we want to make sure you add plenty of frosting on the top that protrudes out the side of the cake. That way when you populate the sides of the cake with buttercream, that area becomes nice and raised at the very top, like that lip that you see. Go over the cake again, smoothing it out, filling in any pockets. And if you guys would like to deep dive into cake decorating, I do have a pre-recorded course which covers everything you need to know in cake decorating. So I'll leave that linked in our description and in our bio as well. I wasn't too satisfied with the lip of the bottom tier. So before it had a chance to set properly, I actually flattened out just that lip. And then I went around again, smoothing out the sides. I feel like this just looked a little bit cleaner compared to the effect that we had before. It was really, really thick in areas, but thinner in other areas. This kind of just balanced it all out. Filled in any pockets, and then that mandatory slow, smooth around with barely any pressure touching. Once it's in the fridge for about an hour, just to make it easier to work with, I'm going to add in dowels, 4 of them, to fit inside the perimeter of a 6-inch circle, so the cake board that's underneath our top tier will be in contact with these dowels. I'm cutting them with a pipe cutter flush with the very top of our cake and sticking the two together with some buttercream. I like to use a dowel at the very top that I can hold on to so that when I lift my cake I can hold it stable on my spatula. Don't remove your spatula right away, make sure that you like the position, and once you do, now you can move your spatula. That way you still have the ability to move it around if you need to. With that dowel, I'm going to hammer it in through the cake board that's in between the two cake tiers, and that just adds even extra stability. Here I've used a small palette knife. I'm just pressing it flat against the cake and then swiping across to leave that petal finish. We have some in pink, which was coloured with rose. It was Rose by Colour Mill, an oil blend colour. And then I've alternated with some blue petals as well. This is navy blue in Gel Food Colour by Chef Master. After that, we're just applying some little gold edible leaf bits just all around the cake. It does help if your frosting is a little bit soft, that way it actually sticks. If it's not sticking to the cake because it's been sitting in the fridge and so it's completely set, what you could do is just spray a little bit of water onto the surface of the cake, not much. This will help your gold leaf to stick. And that's our cake. I hope you guys found this handy. If you recreate it, do send me your photos. I'd love to see them at rosiedessertspot@gmail.com. I will catch you again in the next one.